Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Tom Talks. I know it's been a couple of months, but I have been busy. Been streaming on my main channel, doing some charity streams on Twitch where we raised £300 for two charities, £150 of which has already been donated to one, and the other half will be donated very, very soon. Anyways, in today's episode, I'm going to be talking about my future career, acting. All I want to do for a living is entertain the world and as many people as possible. Um, we'll go for the long story here. So hopefully you're chilling out, playing some video games, just listening to me in the background, or you're watching me play Fall Guys. I actually played some Fall Guys recently with my mates. Good game. Anyway, acting. Um, let's flash back to school. Tom for the win in his school days at secondary school. A little bit of a troublemaker, off the rails a little bit. During drama class, he got told, hey, you're good at this. You should do more. You should do the school plays and projects and stuff. So I did. I did. I done a show called West Side Story, Les Miserables. Well, they're the two I did, but they were like two of the best ones I done. Well, that I could have done. And I found myself better afterwards. I could make people laugh without being a dick, per se, by entertaining people. Um, and I got told to carry that on into A levels, and I did until I got bored because it was just theatre studies, and I dropped out and just took out photography instead, where I self-taught myself how to edit photos and stuff, which is pretty good skill in Photoshop. So now we're looking at about a 16, 17-year-old Tom for the win here. His mind is away from acting. Acting's out the gutter. He's set himself straight. He's not getting into any trouble. He's doing the right thing. He's being polite to everyone. He's just doing his thing. No acting involved. He used the acting before when he was like a late teenager to exert his energy. And now he's just chilling. Then COVID happens. Bada bing, bada boom. COVID happens. 2020. Tom gets told by his parents to get a job. He got given a job application by a man whilst he was at another job, and he applied and got the job. Whilst at this job, Tom got given a week off. I got given a week off of work. And I remember I was just lying down on my bed. I was like, I've got a whole week off. They've given it me off. They told me I could have it. I don't know what to do. I'm stumped. I'm confused. Oh, what Pokemon game haven't I played? Because I'm a big Pokemon fan, and I found Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu. I got stuck on the grass type gym, and I decided to stream. And here we are today. No. I streamed, and I have a very small community, but a very, very good community. In its heyday, in its prime, one of my favorite things in life so far. Was streaming to you guys. Still is, but the community's got a lot smaller now, and people have scattered. But that's just life. And I really, really enjoyed streaming. And someone in chat called the Mad Hatter, I won't say his real name, but shout out Mad Hatter, told me he was also an actor, and he signed up to this agency and did some acting work. And I was like, hey, I like entertaining people. I used to love acting. Why not give it a go? So we've currently gone from just being a naughty kid at school to being told to do drama and acting. Did drama and acting. Became a nice kid. Then COVID happened. No, I dropped out of doing acting. Then COVID happened. And now we're streaming after COVID and, testing the waters of acting. So, signed up to the same agency as Mad and done a few gigs. Done a couple films and a TV show, and I really liked it. I really fucking liked it. I was like, I want to do this every single day of my life because I love being on set. I love the worlds and the characters that are built and created, and true stories that are told. I love streaming, which is entertaining people, making people laugh, providing escapism for people who are either struggling mentally, or they come from a rough background, or they just wanna chill out after a hard day at work, you know? I said I want to provide for all those people, and I can do that by filming every single day, entertaining people, bish bash bosh. So cut back to a year later, or sorry, a year ago from now. I'm not really good at telling stories, but I'm just doing it off the rip. A year ago, I googled how to get an agent, because I knew you need to get an agent to get auditions. I'd seen like podcasts of actors and interviews of actors, and I watched a few videos on how to get an agent, and they said do some acting lessons. So I was like, right, that's the step I've got to take. So I messaged someone I met on one of these TV shows that I'd done, because I saw he had attended this class, and I messaged him, and he was telling me it's really good. It can help you create a show reel, sign up to their agency or this other agency that's a worldwide agency. And I was like, that's a no-brainer. I just got to get the confidence to go and do it. So one brave day in February, I head on over to the studio in central London. I meet with the director, have a chat. I watch one of his classes. I'm like, this is it. And we have a chat, and he says after 2 years I get a credit, or I can apply to their agency. And that's where I'm at now. Almost a year in. I think I'm 11 months out of 2024. So 11 out of 24 I've done so far. And I feel good. I see the light at the end of the tunnel for my career. Now, don't get me wrong. I do not want to be famous. However, in order to entertain millions, that's the price I have to pay. Getting paid big bucks, not going to complain. I can help so many people out with that. Like, it's just a positive and a negative, you know, being famous, getting rich. One wouldn't mind, one don't want at all, but you know, it's the price you have to pay for entertaining people. And I know obviously people are like, people, you just want to be rich. No, I promise you I don't. I'm a very private guy. If you know me on streams, I'm a very private guy. And if I ever make it big, if I ever sat on like a chat show sofa, just know all my stories I could share now, I'll say on the sofa. Alright, you can hold me to it. But I just entertaining people just gives, I don't know what it is. It's not kind of like making yourself proud or like feeling like you've accomplished something, but it's just kind of, when someone makes your day better, you really appreciate them. But I want to be the person who is appreciated, you know? That's what I want to be, but I want to do it because I helped someone with a smile. Because I can't go around to every person's house and make them smile, can I? Make them laugh. You know, that's impossible. But through form of film and TV, oh man, I would love to do that. And the fact that I can, it's there, like I'm so close, is unbelievable. Right now, what I'm trying to do, I've got to create a show reel. I haven't made one yet because I don't think I've had enough like good self tapes that we've done in class. Because every lesson, I'll break down the lesson for you actually. We show up, it's a 3-hour lesson. For the first about half an hour, a director goes through us one by one individually, asking us how our week was. So he can get a gauge on how we feel coming into the scene. Because obviously it's truth, you know, you want to approach the scene with your truth. How would you, the individual person, be in this scene? So he goes to me, how does Tom think in this scene? How does Tom act in the scene? I want to see it. Let the script do the work. That's why you see a lot of actors like Dwayne The Rock Johnson and Kevin Hart, for example. They're just being themselves. Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool. That's just Ryan Reynolds. He just fits Deadpool's character so well. And that's why you get, especially Ryan Reynolds, you get a good character. Whereas you see some actors, like I was saying with Dwayne, Kevin Hart, where they play the same person. They're really entertaining, but you get bored quite easily. Or Jason Statham, he plays the hard guy persona, in like spy films and car movies. But that's who Jason Statham is. He was an Olympic diver. That doesn't sound really hard, but like he's a geezer, you know what I mean? Um, and that's where their truth is. That's why you see certain actors doing the same role, and it's just it's brilliant. It's sorry, that was the bathroom door went, but yeah, it's brilliant. Um, anyway, so yeah, we do a check in, ask us how our week was, then we go over the technique of the script, which has taken me a while to get used to how my director does the technique, but I understand it. And I wasn't one to understand many things in school, but I really understand his technique. It's split down into four parts: the objective, tactics, intention, and an as if. The objective: what does your character want in this scene? What does he want? You know? What does he want to get out of this scene? Does he want to secure the job? Does he want to confess his love? Like, that's your objective. Tactics: how would you, if you were in the shoes of that character, how would you achieve it? Apply pressure, be persuasive, be confident, make jokes, smile, eye contact. They're your tactics. How would you go about doing it tactically? Intention: the intention helps you focus on your scene partner or scene partners in the scene. How are you trying to affect them? How are they gonna feel? All right. If they're starting the scene off panicked, me as Tom, I want to calm them down. I'm not an argumentative person. I want to calm them down. So my intention is to calm down my scene partner, and that plays along with the scene quite nicely, makes it flow nice. Because my scene partner's going in, I want to make Tom feel anxious and stressed, and I'm there going, I want him to calm down, and that creates a nice like yin and yang balance in the scene. And then your as if is the big one. How can you apply this to everyday truth? It's as if I was actually at a job interview. Life experiences help. So the older you are, the easier an as if is. Because I've had some scripts I'm like, I have no connection. We've done one script where it's like, you've met your ex-wife after a year since you burnt down the house and killed both your kids, and you're like, Jesus, no one should have an as if to this. But then you've got to imagine it. But it's like, getting your mind there, and that's actors can really push their imagination and mind, and that makes them talented, extremely talented. Unfortunately, I don't fall in the talented category. I got to do a lot of hard work. In my mind, it's either hard work or talented people, and I got to put in the hard work. Not to say if you're talented, you should be lazy, but it's harder for us people who have no talent in the field, but we have passion, and that gets us through it. And then at the end of the scene, we do a few rehearsals, then we do a take. Director gives us notes on what we need to do, maybe be on voice, maybe adjust certain facial expressions, how we're approaching it, how we're making the other scene partner feel. It's just trying to, really be professional. Because at the end of the day, you're going to have to send a self-tape in to a director, but you've got to stand out. You've got to do something in that scene that makes you stand out from everyone else. For example, Tom Holland, Spider-Man. I believe he was the only one to do like a backflip, which is what Spider-Man does, and that kind of set him apart from everyone else. Everyone else just was Peter Parker. Get a stuntman to do it. And he got the role. And obviously he's the GOAT Spider-Man. But yeah, it's just trying to stand out, and that's what I'm trying to do now. I've had a couple classes where I've done like one thing, and the director's gone, "Gee, if you do that every week, you're there." And it's like, just hearing that, it's just, there's light at the end of the tunnel, unless I'm being dragged along and scammed. But I don't think that. It's just my overthinking mind. As far as gigs and projects go, I mentioned I've done a couple films just as background roles. I've never had a line in anything yet. I've done an animation, voice acting work with my friend. Up and coming projects, I've only got one confirmed, which is a voice for a video game, for an up and coming video game that'll be on Steam, which I might plug. I don't know. I don't know what will happen, but that'll be pretty cool. And I was writing a short film, but I don't know what's happening with that right now. But yeah, pretty dry on all parts. But I'm going to my acting classes every week, just trying to get better and pursue this dream. And I feel like, you only live life once, and that's what my grandparents say to me. Like, you want to live life with no regrets. Um, and I don't. Just dive head first into it. You know, thinking about it now, I'm 23, nearly 24. Jesus. Um, and it's like acting's nearly been part of my life for a decade now, on and off, on and off. But yeah, it's it's my path. I know I can do it. I won't let myself not do it. And the main thing that's pushing me right now, that's making 2026 the year to just grind this and become as good as possible at it and fast track getting an agent and everything, is my grandparents. Because they're in their 90s, more or less. And I want them to see me be successful before the inevitable, the unimaginable but inevitable happens. And that's what's motivating me. I remember last week actually, I was walking to get the train, um, and I called my granddad because he was a little bit ill, not too bad, but he was a little bit ill, and I asked him, "Are you still alright to for me to come over tomorrow?" He was like, "Yeah. I'm right as rain. I'm right as rain." He's like, "Where are you heading now?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm just about to get on the tube and head to my class." And he goes, "Tom, knock him down for me." And it hit me like a shotgun emotionally. I don't know why. I didn't, it just, I was like, oh my God, don't say that. I'm just about to go into a class where I got to pretend to be a robot from Blade Runner. Don't say that. But I said to him, I will, Granddad, I promise. And I had a good class, to be fair. Um, but yeah, and I was like, right, this is the reason I'm doing it. And yeah, it's just pure passion, and making people proud is also part of it. But you know, not to get all soppy, but while the emotions are here, I've had a lot of people tell me I can't do stuff. Friends, family, people I hate. Um, yeah, just I had a lot of people tell me I can't do stuff. And don't get me wrong, you try stuff and you can't do it. Like running an SMP. I can't do it. But you don't know until you try. But, you know, I had my parents tell me I'd never earn any money off streaming, and I have. And I put it back into streaming. So I guess they're kind of right, but for entertainment purposes, it's not the worst thing. And, I proved them wrong. I had um my mates tell me like it's silly what you're doing, and you stick to something and they start to respect you, and they're like, damn. Or if they don't respect you for doing it, they ain't your mate. Or just people who I just who just put me down over the years, saying like, oh, you're skinny, you're ugly, you ain't gonna be able to do this, you ain't gonna be able to do that. And then when you do it and they're like, damn, you know the satisfaction, and you can't lie, you get a bit of a smug face, but it's motivation, it's fuel, to be able in the future to look down that lens and be like, in your head, fuck you, I done it. But also at the same time smiling, saying fuck you, I done it. But then also smiling, going, hey, nan and granddad, I done it. I'm successful. And that's what I want to do. My plan is, this involves streaming as well, is I aim to get an agent by the end of 2027 at the latest. And whether I get an agent or not, I then look to go traveling and explore the world, as my mum calls it, the University of Life. Get some life experiences, which will make me a better actor. But I'd rather get an agent tomorrow and get a film gig the next day and, entertain people as soon as possible. But patience is key, and that's another lesson I've learned. But yeah, anyway, thank you guys for listening to today's episode. It's a long one. I think it might be the longest episode, but it's something I'm truly passionate about. And yeah, I hope you guys have a good day. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. If you want to leave any other topics for me to talk about, let me know. This one was submitted by Clash in the Discord. Shout out you, Clash. Anyway, take care. Bye bye.